Hello, gang. It is daytime outside, and my system is not meant for daytime lighting. Therefore, I will look a lot more warm-colored than I normally do, but will also have to put out with that line sort of thing. That's because my LED lamps are not synced with my camera. Yeah, it's a weird issue. Normally I mitigate it, but there is sunshine coming in, so I cannot. So please put up with me just for this video. And I am making this video because we really need to talk about how you treat human beings online, and I never actually thought that I needed to explain this to people because I normally do not encounter sexism, and this is what it is. So if your lizard brain has issues with this, treat women like you treat men when online, which is to say, if you wouldn't give unsolicited advice to dudes online, you shouldn't be giving unsolicited advice to women online either. I have received a lot of people telling me how to live my life. And you see, the issue is I'm nearly 27 now, and this is something that would have really, really affected me when I was maybe 22, 23. I was trying my damnedest to fit in. I was trying to satisfy my family, my coworkers, my friends, the internet. So I was very, very, very sensitive to all of these remarks, and as time progressed, I really do not give a shit, because in order to look the way that I look, in order to do what I do, I had to do a lot of balancing, so every single decision that I made with a lot of forethought, and it works in my life. Therefore, when you look at me and you go, oh, she is wrong, she should be doing X instead of Y, who are you to try and comment on my life for me? You're not related to me. You have no dice in this game. Why do you think that it is appropriate to make these kind of comments? That is what I want to ask. Why do you think it is appropriate to make these kind of comments just because the person that you're talking to is a woman and not a dude? Do you normally put women down? Do you think we're unable to make our own decisions? Do you think that your feedback was requested and needed and required? Because I plainly do not understand what the heck you're doing here. So today it's gonna be a bit of a short comment read section, and it's also gonna be me saying, ladies, look, some self-respect. When a person or people come in and they're doing these kind of things, you don't need to address that. You don't need to listen to them. You don't need to look at them. You don't need to talk to them, because they are unable to afford you the basic human decency of respecting the person that you're talking with. And if they can't even afford you that, then they don't deserve your attention. So this is not a malicious comment. This is one from my own comment section. If I'm honest, I don't understand why women like you have their hair that short, besides it being easier to maintain. At least shoulder length looks better, and short hair looks better with men like James Bond. It's the same reason why a 1971 Chevrolet Chevelle looks cool. Even though cool and looks better are subjective, there is still what appeals to the masses, and the masses are most people, or else masses would have no meaning. And do you think I am trying to appeal to most people? Am I a car model that I'm trying to sell? Because I am not a car model that I am trying to sell. I am a human being. And I dress and I do things for me, not to please random Jane Doe in the street. It is my choices. I will not be answering why I cut my hair this short there, but it's something that I have been doing since I was 12, and something that my grandmother has been doing for all of her adult life as well. She's 70, she started doing it about as soon as she could when she moved out of her parents' home, which was about 18, in order to go to university. Yes, she did go to university, and so did I, and so did my mother. That's just a common thread in my family. It's really none of your business, and I am not supposed to excuse myself because, once again, I am not some sort of store sign. I am not some sort of item that I'm trying to sell. I am not trying to sell myself to you. I frankly do not give a shit if you find me attractive or not, because, well, you're not the person that's gonna be sleeping with me. That's my husband. And here's another advice, ladies. No matter how you look, what your haircut preferences are, what your disabilities are, there is somebody that will find you attractive. And the important bit is to be attractive for yourself. Like yourself, love the way that you look, and love the way that you exist, because you will need to live with you for the whole life. And as long as you can like yourself and you can love yourself, somebody out there will have similar tastes to you and will find you attractive. You don't need to appeal to 1 million people or to 10 million people or to 1 billion. You need to appeal to one if companionship is what you want out of life, and that is not even everybody. Not everybody even seek companionship or really need it, and that has also been how it's been since time immemorial. If you read about writers, if you read about philosophers, a lot of them never even had families because they were on a separate track. They found separate things to be important to them, and that is once again perfectly fine. So while I understand that the comment was not malicious, this is just really a good example of what not to say to women online. Now, these are slightly more malicious comments because we had a lot of people discussing me in depth, especially my appearance for the past 2 days. She'll potentially be an alright lass when you grows out of all that weird shit, and by then she could be a bit infertile. Normally these sorts of birds start dressing more sensibly at around 21 when they have to enter the job market because they have graduated from uni. So begin with, I am gonna find it quite disturbing that you're trying to say when she grows out of the weird shit, but by then she might be a bit infertile. Normally that happens at the age of 21. If I connect two sentences, what I take out from this is that you like to fuck people that are about 18 to 21 years old, if I am counting only the people that are legal to fuck. It almost sounds like you don't want girlfriends or wives or women above the age of 21. That is a deeply concerning statement to be making online, and that is exactly what I'm gonna fetch out of this. But on top of that, other people's reproduction, completely not your business. Like, are you my husband? Are you my boyfriend? Are you my partner in any way? If the answer is no, then this is like concerns you in no way whatsoever. So thank you, random John Doe. Thank you for your opinion. Nobody asked. It is quite rude. You obviously cannot follow normal social cues. Are you okay? And would you say this to a dude? Because if the answer is no, then you should not be saying this at all. At least when online behavior is concerned, you should not be saying this at all. Now, grows out of the weird shit. A small comment to address. There was a point in my life when I tried to dress extremely normal in order to fit in. I was once again under that impression that you have to conform and you have to adapt in order to be part of the workforce. Well, I have a full-time job right now, and I dress the way that my 16-year-old would have absolutely loved me for dressing as. And it has done wonders to my self-confidence. It has done wonders to my happiness and enjoyment of life. And I've seen pictures of people at 50, at 60, at 70 being dressed in goth, being dressed in steampunk, and it warms my heart because these are the people that are living for themselves and not for some John Doe walking around the society. And there's absolutely nothing wrong if you like the current modern fashion. But remember that your style should be there for you and not for some stranger on the street. So if you need this, look however you need to look, because normally when people that need to look a bit different than just a regular person that you would meet on the street, when they curb that and when they curb that enthusiasm and the ability to dress different and to look different, their mental health really spirals downwards into complete and total sadness. Don't do this to yourself. Try and find an environment in which you are gonna be happy. This is to do with your clothes, this is to do with your job. And do what makes you happy. You don't have to have a specific job, you don't need to please a specific person, and you definitely do not need to dress this way. And when you figure out what in life makes you happy, balancing this with the rest of your life, like being in the workforce, that is a completely fine option. Once again, I am in the workforce. I have balanced this aspect of myself, and I am quite satisfied with it. It's a complete myth that you will just have to look one way when you enter the workforce, and that is it. That there is no more self-expression past that point. It's a myth. Just need to be able to balance that. And how you balance that, what kind of deals you strike with your boss, how you dress, whether it's more extravagantly or whether it's more subdued, something that's appropriate for the office that you're in. This is not gonna be the same for every single office that you're in. It is once again yours to balance in your life, not for some random schmuck online to advise you on how you are supposed to look and act in order to be an active member of the society, because no, that is not how it works. I'm sorry to say, that is not how it works. And we're addressing the last bit because I keep on getting a lot of comments that now just sound like a whole bunch of kids screaming, "Debate me! Debate!" You don't need to debate somebody if they can't provide you the basic human respect that one should provide to their opponent when wanting to have a normal adult conversation. If your opponent cannot provide you with a normal adult conversation, then you do not need to debate them or pay them any mind whatsoever moving forwards. So, you know, the guy that did a stream on me, a lot of people were like, oh, he had very specific points in this stream and you should watch that and you should address that and you should debate him. You should definitely debate him because he's one of the good ones and he's completely correct in his opinions and yada 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 yada. I had a couple back and forths with him on Twitter, trying to be respectful and just telling the guy that the way that his stream chat was acting was completely inappropriate. And he didn't do anything. He didn't even try to do anything to make sure that people don't seek me out, to make sure that people don't launch attack waves, to make sure that people don't dox me. That was not even considered, and his responses back were very rude, to a point where I didn't reply to all that many things. A lot of things that were said were quite horrible and rubbing me the wrong way to begin with, such as rampant anti-Semitism. There were some claims that I'm Jewish. I'm not, but nothing wrong with being Jewish, honestly. Just a bit weird, and a bit weird that you hang up on these kind of things in order to others. But this is where I stopped my conversation entirely, going, if you cannot respect the person that you're conversing with, then you are pointless to converse with, because you're clearly not acting like an adult. As I said already, stop fucking about cosplaying as some sort of goth witch, stop wasting your life playing computer games, grow your fucking hair, and have some children. Are you my husband? Are you my partner? Are we dating? No? Then why do you think that you can say these kind of things to me? And if you are dating somebody and they're telling you these kind of things, if they're not even showing you the basic respect that you as a person require in order to be able to engage in whatever hobbies that you want to, not a person that you should be being with. Not a person that you should be being with. Do not let yourself be controlled by another human being that will tell you how to look, how to act, and what to do. 50% of the population are not walking baby makers that you can impose your own beauty standards on. They're people. Would you say this to a dude? If you would not, then don't say it to a chick either. And the only reason why I'm addressing this is because I get comments like these. What you think is hate is just tough love. Nah, mate. Nah. I don't know what kind of abusive environment you grew up in, but this is not how you treat a person. I'm not speaking alien. This should be fairly basic thing to comprehend for a human being. This is not how you treat a person. Another thing to remember is that everybody that you meet online, behind the screen, they are a person. They are a living human being. Would you treat the person this way if they were in the street? If the answer is no, don't treat them like that online. Would you say this to a man? The answer is no. It's probably not an appropriate thing to say to a woman too. We are in the 21st century, not in medieval period. And if we were in medieval period, I am pretty sure my husband would go out there in order to fist fight ya for trying to insult the honor of a woman that you have nothing to do with. Unless, of course, you fancy yourself to be some sort of lord. But chances are, in those period of times, you wouldn't be a lord because very small percentage of people would have ever been a lord. You would have been a random peasant sheep herder. Okay? Not somebody that at any period in time could give this opinion to a woman who is not in any way related or tied to them. Even if you go for the worst possible option of things, places where sexism wasn't addressed, people related to that woman or people married to that woman would take issue with your words instead, because it would have been like accusing somebody's wife, trying to smudge their wife's honor and therefore smudging their honor as well. But if you're a lady, you're watching this, let yourself have self-respect. You don't need to put up with this. You don't. Oh, they might think that I'm weak if I block, or if I switch off the likes and dislikes, or if I switch off comments, or maybe I am being no. Do what you need to do for mental health, because we are adults. We're not little kids inside a kindergarten throwing cartons of juice at each other. We are adults, and we should be acting like adults, and we should be functioning like adults, which includes not being a sexist pig to the ladies online, which includes treating others the way that you would like to be treated yourself, which includes being able to be respectful. So when somebody is disrespectful to you in such a matter, it is not you that there is a problem with, it is them. It is them. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk on having some self-respect. I hope this video has been useful for at least somebody. And see you the next time.